Hi, this is Zak Mir with the US Chartbreakers here at Zak's Traders Cafe for Thursday, the 18th of September. Starting off with the S&P and here, still within this rising trend channel from April, RSI backed off the overbought area, also backed off, I suppose, the area above 6,600, but even yesterday's price action was a bit of a cork in water move in the sense that we pushed down and then pushed up to close near the highs of the day. The view at this stage is that at least while we're on the right side of 6,500, probably 6,540, given yesterday's low was 6,551, and we previously said 6,540 should be support, looking for the top of the channel there through 67.70 by the end of next month or even sooner. Obviously, the Fed is an active ingredient in terms of where this market will go at the moment. Moving on to the Nasdaq 100, and here a bit of a pullback as well, but back towards the 24,000 zone. At least we're still above that and looking for 25,000, the top of that April trend channel by the end of next month. Best case by the end of next month up to 26,000, which is a late January resistance line projection. On the downside, not expecting anything lower than the floor of the channel and the 50-day moving average 23,400. If we can do that, then it would underline how strong this market actually is. Moving on to the stocks, and what's interesting here is how many recent winners we've had, and obviously how few people still watch this video, but I presume that even if everyone was right and everyone was up 30% every day, the viewing figures would not change. People obviously have their own views and tastes in terms of where they research stocks. The first one here is AtlasClear, and here you can see that we've managed to blow the doors off the recent target there at $82 and about 82 cents. And while we're above that, looking for a fresh leg up towards the 200-day moving average, $2.70, hopefully by the end of next month. Ideally, we stay on the right side of recent broken resistance there at $1.18. Hopefully that can be done. You can see there were multiple bounces off that uptrend line in the RSI window from last month, and that has been the engine for the pushes to the upside, or the push to the upside that we've seen so far. On to a stock which I had difficulty pronouncing, but now I've had to learn how to say it, but Apollomics. And here you can see that we've got another situation where we've pushed through the initial target there, $12, and hit the second target there, the red line there, towards $20, about the high, 20.98. So I think probably the stock hit that line right on the nose, which is always very gratifying. I want to see an end of day close, obviously above 21, to give us a best case scenario target up to that spike from November through 35 by the end of next month. In terms of where we might pull back to, probably $15 to $16, the ideal area. That's a sort of median of what we had in October, November last year. But at least while we're above that area, we have the chance of a fresh push to the upside, even though you can see that above $20, the shares tend to get sold off quite sharply. On to BGM, and here we've got a falling trend channel, but bouncing off the floor of the falling trend channel, pushing through RSI 50 for the first time in a couple of months. 50-day line rising, 200-day also line rising. So the view at the moment is that the longer we stay above the 50-day line there at $8.46, the greater the chance of a minimum move there to $13, which is the top of that falling trend channel. Ideally, we stay on the right side of the $9.50 area, which was resistance on the way down. More difficult situation coming up now with Conduit, and here you can see there's a bit of work to do. The reason for the inclusion today is that we've had a bear trap island reversal, so gapping down and then gapping up, so gapping down to new lows and then gapping up. So the RSI went really low as well, down to 13. What will be interesting here is we can manage to stay above the top of the last gap there at 77 cents. Above that on an end of day close basis, looking for the shares to properly fill that gap up to $1.17, and maybe even head up to the second gap there, or the third gap, in fact, up to the $1.60 plus area by the end of next month. But the key here is holding the top of that second gap to the downside, so around the 78, 77 cents level. A new one to look at now is educational development, and here we've gapped through the 200-day line, top of the range, and the top of that falling trend channel up at 191. Obviously, if we can get through that, we're looking to 40 by the end of next month. Ideally, we stay on the right side now of the 160 to 170 area on an end of day close basis. So let's see if educational development can deliver the goods. Presidio property is next, and here quite an interesting setup in the sense we had that gap before, and then we came back down and then even lower. Second time lucky maybe, and here the level in question in terms of support towards the $7.50 area. That was resistance on the way down. Above that, we're looking for $14, as high as $14 by the end of next month. But not a lot of charting information there, so a little bit of a finger in the air type of event or type of setup. But obviously, by definition, most of this exercise is a bit of a finger in the air situation. On to another bear trap island reversal, so gapping down in this case at the end of last month and gapping up viciously now. Current situations, we'd like to see the share stay above the old support on the way down, which was around $3.90. If we can do that, then we're looking for a retest not only at the top of the channel, but maybe even the 200-day line towards $8 by the end of next month. Nice looking setup coming up on the next stock, which is Shuttle Pharmaceuticals. And here you can see that we've broken through the 50-day line and the RSI 50 level, first time in a long time. The resistance area around $3.70. Above that, looking for the top of the falling trend channel as high as $5.60 by the end of next month. Ideally, if you're fussy, we stay on the right side of $4. I think that would be a nice proviso. Speaking of stocks which have done well, we've covered this stock, I think, yesterday, and it's managed to push through the 200-day line as was expected, given the RSI 50 plus rebounds that we had, and very strong candles there, opening at the low, closing at the high, or near that case. In terms of what happens next above the 200-day line there at $1.23, we're looking for $2 by the end of this month, so only in another 12 days' time. Let's see if Triller can do it. Finishing off with stock which is new to us, Visionary Education, and here you can see a spike through the 50 and 200-day lines. Recent resistance around the $2.38 level, and above that, looking for the top of the range, basically $5.80 by the end of next month. We've had an RSI 50 rebound, so that was actually a decent leading indicator on the upside. That's it for me today. More updates tomorrow.